So today's show comes from a listener who says, Todd, help. How do I negotiate a lower price with my seller? So we're going to play that question and answer it here. But before we jump in today's show, if you have not headed over to NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com, I've got a gift there for you. And specifically, go to NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com/script. And there I have a gift for you. It's the exact word for word script that I use to lock up motivated seller deals day after day after day after day. As a matter of fact, this exact script has been responsible for locking up over 1,300 transactions in our real estate business, and it's responsible for tens of thousands of deals across the country by our listeners. So my gift to you, totally free. If you've ever wondered what to say and didn't know, well, now you know. So head on over to NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com/script and download a free copy of that today. So that being said, we got a great question from one of our listeners on how to negotiate a lower price. So let's play it.
Hi, Todd. My name is Lauren. Okay, so my question is kind of how to get better at negotiating the price. So I'm getting good motivated leads. I'm finding out their condition of the property. They have high motivation, and I'm finding out their timeline. And most of these people already have a price in mind, but I need to be lower. And so I don't know if I'm approaching the price wrong or too soon, but a lot of them seem to be pretty stuck on their price.
So awesome question, by the way. I mean, first of all, you've got half the battle done, right? You've got leads coming in every single day, nice, motivated leads. And that's where it all starts, right? So great job, Lauren, for doing that. And I can tell you that, man, I mean, you are well on your way to a full, juicy pipeline of massive real estate deals. So congratulations. First of all, thumbs up in my book. But the second part, which you've got, is the sellers say, hey, they know a price. Well, that's also great. I mean, if the sellers are talking and giving you a price, it means that you're doing a good job of asking questions and extracting information. So we're like 90% of the way there. So, hey, kudos to you. So let's, dissect this a little bit. And I'm going to give you a few things here to help you along. And if you stick with them, I promise you're going to see your results go through the roof. So the first thing is that I want you to know that Todd Toback does not have this magic juju, and I do not, convert sellers by the thousands, right? I don't bat 1,000, right? In terms of talking to motivated sellers. As a matter of fact, I don't really talk to motivated sellers at all anymore. But when I did, I still only closed, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, and I got better over time. And also when I got people to help me and to disqualify the qualified leads, my closing ratio went up, of course, right? Because I talked to more motivated sellers. But when you get sellers who are stuck on price, that only means one of two things, one of three things. Number one is they're truly stuck on their price and they're really not that motivated. And I'm going to have to either refer that to a real estate agent, and that's fine. Number two is that they are saying that they want a particular price, but that I can negotiate them down. Or three is they think they want a particular price today, but over time they will soften up and eventually capitulate to the price that I need, right? So you want to kind of find out where they are in that category. So if you ask questions and you speak to them and they give you a price, one of the things that I like to do is I say, is that the best you can do? That's actually in the script, by the way, that I talk about above. So check out NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com/script. Is that the best you can do? And then I want you to zip it. Shh. Be patient and listen. Right? Man, that's so painful even for me to do on this podcast. So be patient and listen. Make a funny face. Look confused. Just wait. It should be awkward. If it feels awkward, good. That means you are on the right path, Lauren. Okay, then if they say they're stuck, right, I'll say, look, like let's say that they said, I want $150,000 the property. And they said they're not coming down. I said, look, I'm not saying I could, but what if, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but what if I offered you $100,000 for the property? Is that something that, 100 to 150, right? I'm using something called the range technique. So if I add their number and my number in the same sentence, it'll check for flexibility. So if I could pay anywhere between 100 and 130, is that something that you'd even consider, or probably not? And then listen, see if they loosen up. And if they come back and say, no, 150, there's nothing I can do, I might refer that to a real estate agent, right? And find some way to partner legally with that agent to get paid on that. Okay. Of course, check your states, but there's lots of ways that you could partner with agents legally. So that's the first scenario. The second scenario is I'm then going to use all kinds of, where I'm looking at the second scenario where I might just go into the sales system that I'm going to talk about right here. So by the way, if you have not purchased our sales system, this is the exact step-by-step system that we use to train our acquisition specialists and investors across the country to lock up deals. You want to ask a series of questions, something that I call stealth mismatch, and sometimes price conditioning. So I might say, hey, Mr. Seller, hey, it sounds like we're far apart on price. The good thing is that you could probably hold on to this property another 12 months. It could be a good rental for you, and you don't need to sell at all. And then zip it. Now, of course, that's scary to say, right? But ironically, if you go opposite of what they think that you're going to do, well, guess what? They may come back and say, well, no, I need to move by this date. So now you're going to dig out information, right? So you want to use the stealth mismatch. Say, oh, the good thing, Mr. Seller, is that your tenant's going to pay you every single month, and this will be a great rental property. Or the good thing, Mr. Seller, is that your daughter's living in the property. I know, rent-free with her, third husband and her sixth child by 4 different men, right? The good thing is that you like helping her, and it's it doesn't sound like you like charging her rent. So, you guys are great parents, right? By the way, that's very common in some of the juiciest deals, right? So always look out for that situation. But the recommendation there is you use stealth mismatches to dig out information. Very, 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 very important there. If you sense motivation, either one or two, is that if you can go in person anyway, even if you can't come to terms on the price. And I would do a soft pass and say, look, I'm not saying I can, but what if I could do 100, right? Or if they're just not there yet, let some time pass, right? Follow up in a month and say, hey, I know last time we spoke, you wanted this price. I couldn't give it to you. Has anything changed? Would it be worth talking to? And over time, they may loosen up on their price, right? I've never forced anyone to loosen up on price. What I've done is I've made offers and I've tried to get a number out of them. I've asked good questions. I then have found out if there is motivation. And if there is motivation, well, then I continue to follow up and let the situation then bring them to me. That is the way you do it. You let the situation bring them to you. You build rapport, you build trust, you build transparency. And when you do that, okay, then the deal will come to you. You can't force it. I've never forced anyone to do a deal with me. I've never twisted anyone's arm. I've never taken their pen and say, sign this right now, take my price or else, right? It's never like this macho negotiation, it's just a conversation. And if I could help, and if I'm the guy or gal, or if I can offer enough value for them to give me some of their equity in exchange for speed and convenience and transparency and trust and an easy process, right? Then let's do the deal, right? But you're not going to force anybody, at least according to the way that I teach it, right? So if you want to know more about that, head on over to NoLimitSalesSystem.com, NoLimitSalesSystem.com, and that's where you could purchase the entire No Limits selling system. Now, a couple of tips. I've talked about this. When you can't come to terms on price and it seems like you're stuck, send out a written offer. I don't care how far apart you are. If you send out a written offer, 1 out of every 50 is calling you back, okay, and saying, you know what, let's do the deal. If you have a virtual assistant help you with that, right, you're probably going to spend an extra $250 per deal to get that deal. But hey, I think a $40,000 check is worth it. But you want to build a pipeline of these people who have problems. Maybe they're not ready to do business with you today, but over time, that pipeline is going to ripen. And then they're going to take your price. So quickly, let me summarize. Number one, great job marketing and getting the leads in the door. Number two, great job at getting a price. My only changes would be find out what kind of sellers you have. If they won't move, refer them to a real estate agent or they don't have a problem. Send an offer. Step two is ask the right questions. Maybe you can negotiate them by giving them stealth mismatches, right? And say, hey, I understand we can't do business. I have to make a profit. You want top dollar. Maybe there isn't a match here, right? Pull away. Use questions like that. They will either come back to you or their problem will now matriculate into a situation where they will take your price. Either way, if you can't come to terms on a price, send a written offer. Some of those may come back to you. I talk all about this in the No Limit Selling System. But I tell you what, Lauren, you are on your way. Great question. Thanks for sending it in. And if you have a great question that you think the audience would benefit or you think would help you, email it to support@nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com or hit me up at Todd Toback on Instagram. And if it's a fit, maybe we will read it on the air. Don't forget to head over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script to download that script. And I will talk to you on the next episode.